Hello everyone, Denise here. Today I am doing a tutorial on how to make a simple knitted hat. I know this is different than what I usually do on my channel, but I do knit, and so I wanted to bring you this very quick, easy hat tutorial, and I wanted to show you the needle set that I received from Onedaysaving. This is a website. I did a complete review on these needles and I can link that below. This is a website that offers a lot of crafting items, including knitting and crochet. So I will leave a link to the product here, and I will also leave a link to just the main website and then give you a discount code to put in to get a discount if you are one of my watchers. So I'm going to open up the needles and show them to you a little bit and explain how we get started. So the yarn I am using is yarn from Expression Fiber Arts that I purchased. So this needle set, like I said, I did a complete review on this. Very good set. So it comes with a lot of needle sizes. They're all interchangeable with cords. The needle sizes are 2.75, 3.25, 3.5, 3.75, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And all of that is in millimeters. There aren't US sizes on these needles, but millimeters is always usually listed in all the patterns that I have used or have written. So the cords are actually pretty nice. They don't have memory to them like boy style cords, and they're like metal coated in a plastic. It's very nice, very pliable. You can move them around. They don't break, they don't stay, they're not plastic like some of the cheaper ones that I have bought. They don't swivel though, so the ends do not swivel on the needles or the cords. The cord sizes come in 12-inch, 15, 17, and 22 inches. And then there are connectors, there are ends, and there are extenders in here. If you need your cords to be longer, you can use the extender. And these are the tools that you attach the needle to or the extender to, whatever you need to do. So it comes with all of that. All of the needles they're wooden and they are painted black. And I went over this in the review video, but they are pristine. They are smooth. There are 0 defects on these. They're great needles. So with all that being said, let's get started on the hat tutorial. Okay, so we're going to start with our hat. It's a basic 1x1 rib hat. I used to follow a pattern on this and I just started doing it on my own and doing my own thing. So pretty much you just knit, purl, the whole entire hat until you decrease, and then you decrease and cinch the top. I prefer to do it my own way because I don't like to follow a pattern. I like to make the hat as long as I need to for whomever I'm making it for. Sometimes I make them very, very long so that there is a very long brim that they can, fold up the end. And sometimes I make it beanie style. And so I'm going to show you what I do. This is this yarn right here is worsted weight. It is from Expression Fiber Arts. And I bought this quite a while ago. I don't know the colorway on this one. It's not available anymore, but this is their pearlescent worsted yarn. It is 50% superwash merino, and this is 50% mulberry silk. Gorgeous yarn. It is 220 yards, 201 meters, 4 ounces, 115 grams. So one ball will make the hat easily. I'm going to use probably 4.5 needles on this. Yeah, I'm going to use 4.5. So I am going to attach my needles to the yarn. I'm also going to use my Yarn Genie, which I got gifted from Lisa in the Summer Tips and Stitches group. We do swaps, and she gifted me a yarn genie, and it is amazing. It comes on this little stand here, and then you put your yarn on this, and if you need to, if you're using it and you need it to, you know, you just need to keep pulling, it has a magnet at the top here, and it just sort of hangs and swivels while you're pulling the yarn off. It's really, really cool. I'll leave the link to the place where she said she purchased it, and you can check it out. I love this thing. I don't know how I ever lived without it. You put it right before the cone here, and then you gently bring up the top so that it magnetizes, and then you're good to go. It will just feed off of that and swivel slightly. I love it. I use it on my desk for tutorials. It is perfect. So I'm going to put my 4.5 ends on my cable, and I have my key here. So where's 4.5? Right here. Get those out. So with these, you just screw it on, just like a light bulb, I guess. Screw it in there, and then you lightly tighten it so that they do not come off when you are working. I am using the smallest cable for the hat. And then I'll probably just leave the key laying here so that when I'm done, I can put everything away. So I'm going to cast on 80. That's usually what I do. Casting on 80, I have found my hats to fit, you know, depending on the length that I do from top to brim, they fit anywhere from a 2-year-old to an adult, full-grown adult male. So casting on 80, so I'm just going to pull a length. I like the long tail cast on. If you have a preferred method to cast on, go ahead and do that. I just want to make sure I have enough here. So this is how I do mine. I start like this, and I do a long tail. My long tail, scoop, 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 scoop. Just do that over and over. I'm assuming you have basic knitting skills. If you're watching this, you want to know how to make a hat. If you're a complete beginner, might not be your best video, but if anyone is interested on any series of beginner stuff, let me know. I have never received anything saying anyone wanted beginner series, so I assume most of you that watch me have a basic skill set of crocheting and knitting before you even get to me. But if not, you just let me know and we can remedy that, and I can make some beginner videos. I haven't been counting as of yet because I know it should load the needles pretty full before I have enough. 80 takes a while. I'll double check my stitches, make sure I have 80. So once I have my stitches on the needles, I make sure they're not twisted, and the way I do that is just make sure that all of the bump from the stitch is facing inward like that. It's the easiest way that I know how to do it. And then I join. I used to use a stitch marker, and you can. A long time ago I quit because the tail will indicate your first stitch, so I just don't bother doing it anymore. It's more fidgety to me than anything. So I I just knit one, purl one, and that's all we're gonna do is knit one, purl one. So this is how I knit, and this first round that you do is going to be fidgety because you're working off the needle here. Always is fidgety. Doesn't matter how long you have been knitting, always fidgety. Knit one and purl one. Knit one and purl one. And it just depends on how you knit as well. I usually don't do this method. When knitting, I usually do the continental. This is English, or the throw method. I prefer continental. It's just quicker for me. Knit. This first round is going to be tough. Purl. Knit. Purl. Just gonna do that all the way around. After several rounds of doing this, I will put a stitch marker in my first stitch just to keep track of where I'm at so I don't have to follow up the work when I am getting ready to decrease. So if you're not already using a stitch marker, I do use one later, just so I know where I'm decreasing, and then that helps me for when I switch to my DPNs, my double pointed needles. So I'm just going to keep knitting one and purling one. I'll probably fast forward because this is pretty riveting content. Play a little bit of simple music. So I have done many rounds. I have worked on this for days, a lot of days. I would pick it up here and there and then come back to it. It's very easy to remember because you're either knitting one or purling one, no matter what. So it's an easy take with you project anywhere. You can make a hat over the course of 2 months if you want. It's just one of those projects that you can pick up and do. So once you get to the length that you're looking for, if you're looking for a beanie, 6 inches from the beginning is about beanie length for an adult. If you make it 6 inches from the beginning and then decrease, it can still fit a toddler. You'll just have to turn it up like this. And that works quite well. So I think I'm at 6 inches. Yeah, I'm at about 6 inches. So I'm going to start decreasing. Now we started with 80 stitches. So when I do a hat like this, it just depends on how many stitches are there, you know. So I divide that by a number so that it works out pretty decent and evenly. So every, with 80 stitches, every 8 stitches, I'm going to put a marker. So that's literally any marker that you want. You could use yarn, you could use, I'll show you some of mine. Okay, so there are many different kinds of stitch markers. There's this kind, and it would work for this. You would just use it this way. I'm not a fan of that with knitting. I don't really love that. You can also use the little light bulb stitch markers. I don't love that either. You can use the split ones. Also, I don't love that. So this is what I use. I actually like this style of markers when I am knitting hats. They don't get lost with the yarn. They don't get shuffled around, and I just have an easier time. So you either use this style or use the style that has a normal ring on it that does not open. I have tiny ones over here. I can show you what I mean if you're not familiar. Oh, these are easier to show you. So these are for socks, when I make socks, and they just have the metal ring on them. So ones like this that would actually fit on here, or this style, is what I like to use when I'm knitting, unless I'm marking a side, and then I'll use, you know, ones that have removable. But so I'm going to use these. I am going to knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl for 8 stitches, and then put a marker. And this is just going to be our setup round for our decreasing. So let me get over to my tail here. This is how I know where I started in the beginning of the round. So I'm going to follow up here, right up here to the knit stitch, because we started with knit. Gonna mark that so I know where I'm going to begin my round. Before that, I did not need to know where the beginning of my round was, so I didn't use a marker. You can use a marker wherever you want, whenever you want. So I am just going to knit, purl until I get there, because I am not to the end of my round yet. So we're at the beginning of the round now. We are going to knit, purl for 8 stitches. So then we are going to place a marker. Just so you know, this is not an actual stitch marker. It is a gasket from a hardware store, because I needed stitch markers and my husband was at the hardware store. So I picked some up because they are very handy and they sell them in many different sizes. Okay, and then we continue from there. After our 8th stitch, we do knit, purl for 8 more. And then we do another stitch marker. We're going to repeat that all the way around, and I'll meet back up with you when we're at the beginning of our round again. Okay, at the end of our round, you should have 10 stitch markers. Each one is 8 stitches apart. Now we are going to start decreasing. So we are going to start with same repeat that we've been doing, the knit 1, purl 1, and we're going to stop 3 stitches before the end. So we're going to do 5 and then I'll show you what to do. So knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. Now we're going to knit 2 together. This is how we do that. If you don't already know, put your needle in the front of both of those stitches and knit. And then we're going to purl 1. We're going to slip our marker. We're going to do it again. Knit 2 together, purl 1. Slip marker. Repeat that all the way around. I'll be right back with you. Okay, once you get to the end of that round, we're going to repeat that, except it is not going to be 8 stitches. So on this round, we are going to do exactly what we did last round, except I will show you. We are going to knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, and now we are 3 stitches before the end, so we're going to knit our 2 together and then purl 1, and that's going to be the repeat for this round. So knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 2 together, and then purl 1. All the way around. Meet up with you at the end of this round. All right, so this round, if you want to switch to double pointed needles, you sure can. I'm going to. This is where I switch. Each stitch marker has 6 stitches in between, so it's just a good time in my brain that I want to switch to DPNs. So I will just knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl all my stitches, and I'm going to put 3 sets of 6 on one double pointed needle. So I just knit directly off from them. And I'm not decreasing, I'm just knitting the knits and purling the purls. Slipping the stitch marker. I'm not going to put a stitch marker at the ends, but I am putting them in between, because I can just figure each end will be stitch markers. Getting my stitches to go around here so I can get them off. Okay. Now I'm going to load another one. I'm going to do that all the way around until all of my stitches are on double pointed needles, and then we will continue decreasing after that. So now I have them shifted onto double pointed needles. Each end of the double pointed needles was a stitch marker. So in my brain, I just have to remember that. And then the next round, we are going to decrease even more. So the next round, what I do is I knit, purl, knit 3 together, 1, 2, 3, a little tight there. And purl 1. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 3 together, purl 1. Going to repeat that all the way around, and I'll meet back up with you in just a minute here. Okay, at the end of that round, I do a normal round, so I don't decrease. I just knit, purl, all the way around, and then next round we will decrease via purling instead of knitting. So I'll be right back. All right, in this round, I knit 1 and then purl 3 together in each section. And in each section, I take the marker out. So knit, purl 3 together, 1, 2, 3. Drop the marker, knit, purl 3 together. Drop the marker. And do that all the way around, and I'll meet back up with you in just a second. Okay, we're getting towards the end here. So this round, I knit, purl all the stitches just as they are, no decreasing. And then next round will be our last round. So just knit, purl all the way around. And I will meet back up with you in just a moment so we can finish up our hat. Okay, last round. We just knit 2 around, so very easy. Knit 2 together, knit 2 together, knit 2 together. Okay, now we cut a very long tail. These are some scissors that Lisa from the swap gave to me as well. They're very sharp. I like them. Cut a good length here, just so that I can weave in the end. And then get a tapestry needle. And then I just slip the stitches off the needle. And then we cinch. I usually will drop down the tail here and then weave it in inside of the hat. And you are done. Then you have yourself a hat. So I have that end woven in, and now I will get the beginning here. So that is the hat finished. I measured it. It is 7 inches from crown to brim. I tried it on. It fits me. It goes to the very bottom of my ear, so it would work for at least an adult size head with a 22-inch circumference, and it looks much smaller than that, and that is why I say it fits pretty much a 2-year-old to an adult, because depending on the length that you make the hat, you could make it even longer than I did and then have a brim to fold up at the end if you are putting it on anybody smaller than an adult. So it's a great hat for anybody, any age, and very easy to remember the pattern. So I'm going to put a link to all of the details for the needle set in the description box below, and go take a look. Use my code to get a percentage off, and yeah, check out One Day Saving. They have a lot of good items on their website. So I'm going to put my needle back in my case, and I'm going to save it for my next hat. And I appreciate you watching, everyone. And until next time, guys, bye.